Hey y'all, I am in a different spot than usual for the podcast. Oh, there's a fruit tree behind me. That's nice. And our wicking beds. So I wanted to share today about my trip to Costa Rica. So I went on the Ecovillage tours. This was January 23rd through January 30th. And actually, I got to do a bonus tour. So I was able to go visit one more community on the 31st. And if all goes well, since I'm not in the studio, let's see if I can figure out how to share screen and do it that way. I think what I'll do is get on my phone and make sure that what you're seeing is what I want you to be seeing, since I don't have my usual setup. So there we go. So I had a really great time. This was a opportunity organized by Cynthia Tina, who you guys probably know from the Exit and Build Land Summit. She often does the community matchmaking. She has a lot of experience in this field. I think she's visited over 150 different intentional communities and eco villages. So she organized this really awesome tour and partnered with Jason, who has lived in Costa Rica for I think almost 20 years at this point. And they built out two legs of a tour, which I wasn't able to go on the first one because I was at the Greater Reset, but I was able to join for the second one. And so I've pretty much been traveling all of January. I was pretty much traveling, so it's nice to be home. But what I really want to highlight today are the different things that I learned while visiting these eco villages, because as many of you know, John and I and our team with Live Free Academy, we put on the Exit and Build Land Summit every year, and it's always wonderful to see everyone in person. But what we often hear from folks, and what we've really incorporated the feedback from folks who attend, is that, hey, the event is great. This is so amazing. Learn about homesteading and permaculture and intentional community. But I'd like to live this lifestyle year round. Where can I go? What can I do? And does anything like this exist in Central Texas? And the thing is, there really isn't a whole lot going on in Central Texas where we live in Bastrop County. And we have our 10-acre homestead, which you can kind of see here. Oh, some of the wicking beds, things are looking a little dead today. But, our goal all along has been to accommodate this demand to build a mixed-use residential and commercial development here in Central Texas, an eco development, if you will. And we've been on the search for a property, and we spent the last couple of months putting together a deal. We even sent in a letter of intent on a property that we really liked. But all that to say, I'm really glad I went on the Ecovillage tour in Costa Rica, because it helped me to see how some of these communities where they already have the land and have built out these super sophisticated site plans and have already started selling residential lots, and maybe even have, their own community guidelines and bylaws, and how they are accepting new residents. And if residents have conflict, here's how it's dealt with, that kind of thing. It was good to see communities that already exist and how they're set up, because well, we haven't closed on a large 100 plus acre property yet. That is the goal in the long run. And I think what I've learned too is just the art of surrender. And, a lot of my entrepreneurial endeavors, I've had quick success, and it's been like gratifying, but also maybe not applicable in terms of real estate, because real estate deals can take a long time. And also, once land is acquired, it can take a long time to develop the property. So what I'm going to show you today are these communities in Costa Rica. I think there's going to be, off the top of my head, like 9 that I show you. And again, some of these have been around for years, and they're, still building out their infrastructure and adding new lots, or enhancing the food production, and designing out the space where, they're breaking bread. And some of these communities, literally, they're still, like, one of the communities was just raw land, basically. But I'll show you right now, hopefully, if my screen share function works. So let's get to it. Okay, so, all right, so that is showing. So let me see. Where are we? Hold on. Okay. So it says it's screen sharing, but it's only screen sharing the Google Doc. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I only have one screen, so I'm trying to make sure here. So let's do this. Screen share. And we're going to click shared album. Okay, there we go. Haha, I think I figured it out. And ta-da. Okay. See, I'm on like a different window right now, and I'm on a laptop, so doing my best here with the tech. Okay. Yay. So I'm going to show you some pictures. This is our very first stop on the tour. So we went to a community called Rancho Delo. And what I really liked about this community, I'm just going to skim through all the photos. They really don't care about structure and organization. They're all about basically spontaneous order. And if you're attracted to this community and you want to buy a lot and you want to design your house this way, go for it. And in essence, the folks that I met who started it off seemed like, they were inspired by Burning Man and that kind of mentality, if you will. And they have a very extensive build out. They have food production. They have multiple residents. I think they said over 20 residents, a pretty nice yoga shala. They had a that had aerial silks and, all sorts of they had pole fitness, this really, really cool tree house, which I actually got to tour, and I did a video tour, which if you guys want to check it out, it's on my Instagram, Live Free, W Rebecca Bush. Up here. They had chickens. There's the tree house again. So this one did have a lot for sale. It was 180,000 USD, and it was, I believe, 1.5 to 2 acres in this show. But I just want to zip through. Look at this, all the different, uniqueness. They have shipping containers that have been converted. We had a nice meal there as well. They had a restaurant set up. And so this one, I would say, was the most like freedom minded in terms of like build whatever, and I believe it's been around for 15 or 20 years. So this is the structure that had the two poles, the aerial silks, and I think there was like 10 sleeping quarters inside, where you could stay, like book it out for an Airbnb or whatever. But yeah, this is kind of what it looked like on the inside. Little canopy set up with the sleeping quarters. This was cool. They have like these little bridges. Wow. So I don't want to spend too much time on any one community, but I really vibed on this one because, it had this cool community kitchen space. The aerial silks were fun. They had 3 different floors in this structure, 2 different poles, which of course we played on and had a great time. But yeah, so this was, like I said, Rancho Delo. They do have a lot for sale. This was where we ate. Oh, yeah, I should mention too, this is a co-working space, which I believe is going to be around 5,000 square feet. And they're building it out with shipping containers. Really cool to see how they've built this out. Multiple outdoor living spaces. Really, really interesting. A watchtower. This is the lot that's for sale. So if you're interested in buying in Costa Rica, this community does have a lot for sale. And this is actually the lot right here.
Earth ships, right? We know people that have done it and they do it successfully, but it's just so much effort.
I don't know if the audio is playing for you guys, but he was explaining that there's a lot for sale. And this is the co-working space. Pretty cool. Okay, so anyway, that is Rancho Delo. I'm going to stop share. Thank you all for bearing with me since my tech is not perfect, since I'm at Radical Roots Ranch and not at the studio where I usually have like 5 screens. But I want to share screen and show you the next community. So after this, we actually made our way over to a community not too far away from Rancho Delo, called the Ark. And actually, I just emailed Marat. He was the founder of this community last night and I had invited him to speak at the Exit and Build Land Summit. And he said yes. So yay, he's planning to come and present. And I think this is really cool because their site plan and everything is like super sophisticated. So this is this it? Haha, here it is. Okay. So I'm going to go back and now share with you guys. This is the Ark. Okay, so let's check it out. So we were able to visit. Marat kind of like did a 30-minute introductory, kind of how the community was born, which you can find on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. So he is from Kazakhstan. He had moved to Tulum. Things were getting a little overdeveloped in Tulum, so he decided Costa Rica was the place to be. And let's see if we can zoom in here. Okay, so check it out. Huge development, guys. They've already sold multiple lots. Look at this. So they're gonna have all sorts of stuff here. Okay, sports area, temple, community gardens, knowledge hub, farm restaurant, kids playground. Don't know what that says. Co-creation lounge, maybe, clinic, spa, retreat center, organic store, stores. Pretty cool, right? Now the blue are all lots that have already sold. And so as you can see, those are the ones that are closest to the ocean with ocean view. However, there are, I think, 83 lot locations. So still plenty of lots available. And they are building out. They already have really cool regenerative agriculture systems in place. So let me show you what they're doing with their food forests. So this is kind of a rendering of a house. Ideas written down. They have like a little shipping container welcome center. I'm going to slow down because I'm noticing I'm going a little too fast. But these are just renderings, y'all. So like, you know, this is when you visit kind of what you would see. So they have this cool welcome center shipping container, which I took a photo of here. And this is like their pillars, their values. So it's all about community, all about health, all about regeneration. And I know that you guys are going to love this, autonomy. So that's the Ark. This is getting built out right now. Lots are available. If I don't botch this, I believe the lots are around $300,000 USD. And again, it's called the Ark. And it's in Costa Rica. Super close to the ocean, by the way. I think we got down to the ocean and we're like, literally there were surfers and a little beach town like 10 minutes away. So really good location. We're getting a tour here of the regenerative agriculture. So they're setting up food forests. Everything's permaculture. They've done berms and swales. They're doing the hugel culture.
That we have for planting, right? So you see here this super big trench, 2-meter trench, and let me tell you, there are two kinds of permaculture people: the ones that don't want to change nothing and leave nature the way it is, and the ones that we come with these big machines and move everything because.
But anyway, I'm just gonna scroll through these pictures, and it was such a cool experience. Like I think they've been around for 2 years. They've had the land, so not too long. And it made pretty good progress. And I gotta say, at all the places we ate, and I'm not trying to throw any community under the bus, but the food that we had at the Ark was freaking amazing. And it was like literally their first time doing a farm to table meal. They literally set it up for us for this tour. Is the first time ever. And yeah, they really knocked it out of the park, I gotta say. But anyway, so this is just us walking around, and I'm doing my best to like upload everything to my Instagram so you guys can see, but just a little overview of what it looked like. And as you can see, it's obviously still getting built out. They have a lot of rendering signs and, you know, like this is what it will look like someday kind of stuff going on. But here's what it says. So here lies our collective dream to restore our earth, thrive on the abundance it provides, and unite with like-minded people who hold the same, I don't know, creating a home where we thrive with nature. Same vision, creating a home where we thrive with nature. Okay, so lots of different plant species they're going to be adding. They're going to have a very large emphasis on educational hub and permaculture. So this is the Ark. And let me just show you the food because, like, it was so amazing. So we have this amazing meal. They had built out this like overhang, so there was shade, but it was this view. So
Are you okay with being on camera?
The ocean and everything. And there's a lot of seafood there. So the first tour we were eating,
the Ecovillage Tours.
Lots and lots of seafood. I mean, look at this. It was so good. It's like tuna. And then let's see what else. Oh yeah, this was dessert. Just everything was unbelievably phenomenal. The meal was really, really, really good. Okay, well anyway, check it out, guys. I'm gonna go back, and so now let me show you. We went to so many different communities. I'm trying to think, where did we go next? The third one was, I think, Tierra Amor. Let's see. Okay, so that was this one. Yeah, right here. Okay. So then we trekked over to a different part of Costa Rica. And let me make sure I'm sharing my screen here. Uh-oh. Did I lose you guys? Here we go. Okay, yay! There we go, there we go. Gotta find that again. Okie dokie. So, Tierra Amor, this was our third tour. If I'm not mistaken, this is the third one. And woohoo! This was really hard to get to. The roads were crazy. This is in Nosara, or at least near Nosara. I'm not super familiar with the geography in Costa Rica, but I know it's near it at least. And they have a lot of land. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 500 acres, like tons and tons of land, like pretty remote. But I will say, once you're out there, it's very beautiful. You guys might have seen my compost toilet video.
I'm using a compost toilet. Well, I just did. But I want to show you how this is set up for those of you who have never used a compost toilet before. Check this out. So first of all, not a bad view when you're on the pot. So this is what it looks like. Here is the sawdust. So you simply realize you need, which if you just went number one, you really don't need a lot. Get back in there. And check this out.
I just wanted to show that because some people are like freaked out by compost toilets, but this is what it looked like on the outside. There were 3 stalls. Obviously very open, airy, doesn't smell, that kind of thing if you're worried about that. But beautifully done. They were designing using a form of building technique that was in the indigenous people have been using for the exterior and everything. This was like the spiritual center. This is cool because I asked when I was touring one of the cabins, I was like, oh, there's no kitchen in here. Like, how do you guys make your breakfast and stuff? And they're like, oh, no, we have like a calendar that shows all the activities on the property. And this is when people, we have a lot of time when people who are helping with the food like cook, and then everyone else who helps with other stuff comes, and that's when they eat. So you can kind of see how they have like dinner and lunch and breakfast and stuff carved out, and like they even will say who has what food allergy, etc. The shift for the various tasks on the property. So I kind of think it's like good to have that space where you can break bread, everyone gets together, can talk about the day plan, enjoy a nice meal together. And then this is the line that we had formed for the buffet style meal, which was really good. They made us a nice meal, pad thai, some eggs, and yeah, everything. They said for the most part, they're growing a lot of the food on property. They have chickens that I saw. And then we all got in a circle, kind of learned about the community. As you can see, solar panels are pretty popular in Costa Rica. This is the food production, very impressive setup that they have. So yeah, we got to walk through and kind of see what they're up to in terms of gardening. Just really kind of felt like an oasis there. Like you're just really tucked away in the mountains, very secluded, very quiet, very peaceful. It felt a little cooler than some of the other places, maybe due to the altitude, or the elevation. They have a few different community buildings there at the entrance area. And then you kind of make your way. This is going to be a juice bar, I believe. It was where the cows would go, the livestock, when they had the grazing on the property. Then not they, but the previous owners, I mean. But then now Tierra Amor residents turned it into a juice bar, I believe is what it's getting built into. Then they showed us behind, you kind of see
our lovely juice bar.
This little,
juice bar. Stages of conception. One of a lot of the main factors of our buildings here is that it's built with natural materials. So barake, which is the building method that's been in Costa Rica for about 400 years, I think. We have an architect on site, and yeah, they've been using all the casitas are built in that way. All of the buildings are built that way.
So in case you're wondering, I will be uploading all this content and kind of doing like a little mini documentary sort of thing. But this just for now to give you a glance of what the community looks like. It was lovely. But I will say one of the vans did have to get towed. We had 3 vans for the Ecovillage tours, and one of them did not make it. So we had some of our fellow tour mates were not able to come on this one because the van literally fell into a ditch. Or not, maybe it didn't fall into a ditch, but it basically got stranded down a road that, yeah. Okay, so you can see the little cabins here. So these are where the people who live there. These are a little smaller, like casitas, tiny home kind of casitas, but really cool how they have it set up. And yeah, I mean, if you're using the community kitchen and stuff and eating with everyone, you really don't need your own dining space. So it kind of makes sense, I think. But the plan is to have little areas, 8 or I think 12 actually residences in a pod is how it was described. But they kind of named the cabin spaces after famous people in the industry, like Bill Mollison had a little sign, Sheba. So pretty cool. So you can see how this looks. Just think it was really beautifully done. And he said that their neighbor has a teak farm, so I guess they built a lot of the lumber was teak from their neighbor. So that's cool to use local supplies when possible. And as I understand it, there's also a large import tax into Costa Rica, so it makes a lot of sense. So there's Cynthia, looking so beautiful. And there's the rolling mountains. Very cool community. Really glad we got to visit this one. Now we're at the top of a mountain. They do, I guess, they had some sort of event up here they were explaining. So that's kind of cool, the little rock structure. But yeah, anyway, this is Tierra Amor, and I believe his name is Matthew, the founder. He was explaining kind of the vision for the community, and he's got aspirations to even get more land. I think 700 more acres. So he's got a big vision. They have these cool skynets and this awesome skynet bridge dream. They look up at the stars and stuff, stargazing on these cool tents. All the cabins had them. So that was pretty neat. And yeah, it was a full moon that night, so I had to snag that picture. Okay. Now we're going to go back and let me think of the next community. Oh, right. Okay, so after this, we went to Shift Esperanza, which is the one I was referencing that's basically just raw land right now. Although the last like 2 or 3 years they've been building it out, but it takes a little longer when you're doing this eco-village as a condominium association. So the founder of this community, I believe his name is also Matt or Matthew, coincidentally. But he wants to, he has events. I guess he has an event. I think he must have I think it might be going on right now, actually, on the property. So there's like a little space where they gather. But he wants to really focus on the food production right now. So like the last 2 or 3 years, they've been regenerating the land. They've built out some roads. And so actually where he did his presentation to describe the vision for this community was at a bougie restaurant nearby. So let me show you. So this was Shift Esperanza. Okay, so as you can see, that is a very bougie restaurant. And so at first I was like, dang, look at the view. This is great. So close to the ocean. Really nice. Fancy. So we met here and he did like a slideshow. And he was like, here's who I am. I have experience in real estate. I've done this. I've done that. So he has, I guess, come from New York City. And why Costa Rica? Well, a lot of people are choosing Costa Rica because it is so beautiful, first of all. But also it's, safer than some other places in Central America. And so he, also emphasized that the location of this community is in what's considered a blue zone, which is where like people live longer. So they're like healthier, happier. So that there's something to be said for that in this area of Costa Rica, which is Nosara. So he is explaining here the vision for the property. So let's zoom in. So he's saying 108 acres, it looks like. 11 neighborhoods, 8-acre restaurant farm, 2 entrances, and that's the gist of that. Yeah, that's a better picture. Says there's one seasonal river and mountain and ocean views. It is a beautiful property. So we did drive through it, and I'll show you those photos. So here's my poorly photographed master plan that he shared. And as you can see, very well thought out, very well advanced planning, that even down to like the trees, like they're very strict about not cutting down certain trees, and you're trying to keep all the trees on the property. So they're partnering with expert designers. Terraform, I think, is the name of their partner. Very futuristic looking, by the way. I was really impressed by the renderings. It looks really cool. Hold on, let me see if I got a better picture here. So our first neighborhood he's sharing about. So amenity design. So, I mean, some of these communities were more like willy-nilly. Some were more like, here's our, like, we're really more of an entrepreneurial business kind of perspective. Like the owner of this project was saying, or I should say the founder of this project was saying, he's really into like conscious capitalism, which I was like, awesome, because, I'm from Austin, and Austin, we got John Mackey here with Whole Foods. So anyway, that's his book. If you guys didn't know that. So come on. Let's go. Okay. Well, anyway, this was like the presentation, and he did a great job, and it was, really insightful, and he's sharing their farm team, and they hire local ticos and like locals. So that's like been an emphasis too. A lot of these communities are like, we want to make sure we're really like integrating with the local community and not like seen as outsiders and stuff. So I think that's commendable. Okay, so here's why they're doing the horizontal condominium. Dependable, secure title and ownership, proper homeowners association, better access to financing, ability to share costs of amenities, clear and organized governance by community members, environmental and architectural standards, which like some of the communities we visited were not strict about this at all, but they're going to have very clear like exterior, like it needs to look, this is the builder, like it needs to look like this, so they are going to enhance the property value and not kind of look like it's slopped together. And professional management and service oriented, a wide variety of home and lot sizes, including options for local residents. So they're actually going to have a 20% discount, if I remember correctly, for the local ticos. And then I guess I took a lot of photos of that slide because we want to do a condominium association here in Central Texas. So I was like, snap, snap, snap. Let me get pictures of that so I can see why they chose to do it there. But anyway, so you can kind of see the lot prices. And maybe you can't see it that well, so I'll try. Okay, so minimum is $145,000 USD, whereas the higher end are going to be $395,000. 55 of the options will be smaller apartments at priced around $225,000 USD, and then 110 small 2-bedroom apartments, and those are more expensive at $450,000. Is that small or square meters? Maybe it's square meters. Yeah, meters, and then also in Costa Rica they say hectares instead of acres. But anyway, so instead of square feet, I guess it's square meters. But so it's saying not small apartment. That was my bad, being goofy. Square meter apartment. So if it's 55 square meters, 1 meter's 3 feet. I don't know. Do the math. But so pretty reasonably sized. And then as you can see, like I was saying, this pitch was at a bougie restaurant, and it's kind of like, look at the pictures, pretty high end in terms of the vision and what the design will look like and the pricing and everything. I mean, you got to have some dough to play with this Shift Esperanza place. Okay, anyway, I thought this was funny because the day before, not funny, but like I was saying, one of the vans did get stuck, and that was a horrible experience, and we were all super worried, and it was scary. But something to be aware of in Costa Rica is that the roads are not really built out, at least not very well in Nosara. Some of the places we visited, it was nuts. It would have been fine if we had 4-wheel drive, but we didn't. Okay, so here's what it looks like for Shift Esperanza. So you're pulling up, and they have like a little space, like I was saying, where they do events. I think it's actually happening right now. They do like an annual event in mid-February, he was saying. And here's like the little event space where they host folks. So we went on in there, and there he is. Now he's speaking to us on the property, not at the bougie restaurant, and explaining about the community and what is to come. And also he was sharing about the event they put on. And I'm going to go a little faster. So we got to go up on a, oh, is the video not there? Well, anyway, they had a, what's it called? Where you step up on a construction site. Well, anyway, you can step up and like look out the aerial view of the whole property. That was really cool. So we were able to walk up and see everything that's getting built out. There's Jason. He helped with organizing the tour with Cynthia. He did a great job. So glad I met him. Oh, and Kelly and Joe from New Earth Development. I was like, Kelly, Joe, we should see each other. I'm in Costa Rica. And they're like, oh, where are you? And I said, oh, I'm at this restaurant where they're doing the presentation for Shift Esperanza. And they said, oh, we live so close. Oh my gosh, we'll be there. So they actually were able to join us. Scaffolding. That's what it's called, scaffolding. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought I had a video of me walking up there and showing the view, but I guess I don't. But anyway, so here's the topography. This is showing the food production plan for the farming stuff. So here we go. Yeah, I don't speak Spanish very well, but that is when we were touring to see all the stuff that's been planted. So if you're going to move to Costa Rica, I'd recommend learning at least a little bit of Spanish. I mean, people speak English, but not like, you should learn a little Spanish if you're actually going to move there. Try to speak it fluently, and like the more you practice, the better you'll get, is what I found. So here we're like basically getting shown the agriculture, because they have built out the soil, and they've like done they've moved dirt, and they've planted the food forests and stuff at Shift Esperanza. So they have stuff growing. They're even bartering and like selling stuff to local like restaurants and stuff. And actually we use these, and Jason made they're not plantains, but they're like related to plantains and bananas, but he made little patties for us the next day. We were at a hostel where we had a day off, and we were able to cook with those. But so you can kind of see like they got some stuff going on the land. It's not just raw land. They're just taking a while, because apparently if you're going to do it like condominium association style, it can take 2 or 3 years or something like that, and even that's considered moving fast from what we were told. Because some of these communities don't have it set up like a condo association or a subdivision. They're like, oh, it's a land trust, or it's a ministry, and you just put money in, and there's really no clear like agreements and stuff. Or if there are agreements, it's like, maybe you get back what you put in, but not necessarily the appraisal of what the current rate would be when you leave. So if you like put $400,000 into the community, and then let's say 15 years later you die and the value went up 10 times or whatever, I don't know what it would be, I'm just using this as a hypothetical example, like you would get what you put in, not necessarily what the new appraisal value is. So I don't know. The thing I like about the condominium association is that assuming the value of the land improves and enhances due to your contribution as a community member, you would then reap the benefits should you need to leave, and that happens. Oh, and then we went to this delicious restaurant nearby, and yeah, like I said, lots of seafood. Yum. Okay, so now I am going to show you pictures from the next 2 stops, which were like really within minutes from one another. So this is Dos Colinas, which was awesome. Really good experience. They're kicking, rolling, they're moving forward is what I'm trying to say, like pretty quickly. They've already got a lot of infrastructure, very built out, beautiful community, and lots of food production. I was impressed as well because they were growing kale, which I didn't realize you could grow kale in Costa Rica, but they were doing it. And, there's a lot of like fruit and but they actually had I thought, pretty impressive amount of, veggies and things. Well, I shouldn't say you can't grow kale there. There were a lot of communities growing kale, but the first few we went to were really freaking hot, like sweating, tropical humidity hot. But as we were going through different locations, the different regions had, some of them were not colder. They were all warm and hot climate, but not as bad as the first 2 we visited were pretty hot. Okay, sorry. Let me just go ahead and share the pictures. Okay. Here we go. So, okay, see, I'm on a laptop. I got my mouse pad, and I don't have a mouse, it's just the pad, and so I'm like trying to be technical while outside, and my neighbors are mowing their grass, so hopefully the audio is okay. All right, so here's us traveling. We went over, I think it's called the Crocodile River or something, like Alligator River or something like that. So we walk up, we got cocos. We were greeted with cocos. Yum. This was the infinity pool. As you can see, you got views there of the ocean, like woo, bougie, high end, real nice. Loving it. So this is Dos Colinas. They started with a presentation and just kind of shared a little bit about the community. They have a smaller, I would say, it looked to me like 8 houses maybe built out so far, if I had to guess. Don't quote me on that. And anyway, oh yeah, so let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it was something around that amount. Really enjoyed their presentation. Really nice guys, cool vision. And this was just when we're at the house on the top of the hill, and they were kind of just showing us their, I wouldn't say pitch deck, but like information about the community rather. They were saying it's secluded yet accessible, because it feels nice and kind of private, but it's also close to the road. It's not like tucked away like crazy like Tierra Amor was. So 43 acres. It's a gated community. There's a nature reserve. They're into the circular economy. They've got ocean views. I think they have this retreat center too, which is like the heart of their business from what I understand. So they got the pickleball courts. They have a regenerative food program, community fiber optic internet. See, these are things that you don't really think of when you're going to these communities. Is like, dude, can I work there? Can I be a digital nomad? Do I have good internet? Do I have good cell phone service? I mean, you'd be surprised how remote some of these places are. But no, theirs was not. Theirs was like pretty easy access to the road, easy access to get to the ocean and all that. So you're like literally surfing in like 5 or 10 minutes. You can get there riding a bicycle. Some of the architecture. Hope you guys can hear me. We got a ride mower. We got a busy road ahead. So sorry if the audio is not wonderful. Here's the various lots. So it looks like 19 lots total. They've sold a few of them, as you can see. A healthier lifestyle. So they're branding it kind of as like a place for remote working, retirement, creative exploration. Large lots, 1.5 or 1.25 acre lots are beginning at 130,000 USD. So that's actually pretty reasonable compared to some of the other prices we've, seen. Okay, so just some views. Really pretty, built out roads, houses, proximity to one another. Close, but still pretty spaced out. Here's the food forest area and their farming. So he's showing us some of their progress. He literally just like picked a pineapple right off the ground and was like, check it out, look. So it's pretty cool. Things just grow abundantly in Costa Rica. You can see all of us on the tour. There's the kale I was talking about. The kale was good. They had us taste the kale. It was yummy. Got a kale next to an aloe plant. Only in Costa Rica would you see that. This is what the houses look like. You're looking out on the ocean there. So beautiful. I think they were kind of weirded out by me taking pictures of these houses. They're like, people actually live in there. I'm like, sorry. But I just, I'm doing research here. So, oh, right. Okay. So then they have like this decentralized, like regional kind of community connection dealio. So they're like, okay, now head over to Resonance. By the time we got there, the sun had already gone down. Sorry, guys, I didn't get too many pictures. But the gist of it, from what I gathered, is that Resonance will eventually be 200 lot locations. So we're talking a pretty big project here. That was one of the little she shed, I think like A-frame little cabin, tiny home dealios they had built out. This, as you can see, absolutely stunning. This is a stairway. Just gorgeous. The architecture, really, really beautiful. This was us inside, very music oriented. I felt like very peaceful here. It was a really cool experience. We just kind of sat around. The owner, or not owner, but like I guess the founder, he was sharing, and that's called Resonance. And yeah, just cool vibes, good people. Really enjoyed visiting there. Okay, guys, we're almost done. I know I've been talking for 45 minutes, so I'm going to wrap up. There's 3 more communities, so I'm going to go fast. Okay, so the next one that we went to was, let me think. It was, Holos. Okay, so Holos, let me show you. Dun, dun, dun. This is Ian Michael started this one. So where are you, Ian Michael? Shoot. Hold on, guys. Okay, it was this one. So okay, hold on. Is it this? I guess it's got to be this one. Okay, yeah, that's it. Okay, here we go, y'all. We're almost done. Oh my lord, there's so many of these tours. Okay, cool. So we went to Holos and had a great visit. When we went there, we, were greeted. We kind of had to go to the side because they were hosting this really big conference. I think it was actually like an ayahuasca legislation or world policy conference or something like that. So we didn't really get to see like their cool little rental units and stuff. We just saw one side of the property. But this was the dome where Ian Michael shared his vision and kind of about the project. And it was so cool. The acoustics were amazing. Like, you don't even need a PA system. You're just sitting in there and you can like hear everything so perfectly. It was awesome. Beautiful design there in the center. Their symbol, logo. So there he is sharing away about the vision, kind of told his story and where he came from and how he got here and how this community all came about. Now this is in the Diamante region, which is much cooler, like lots of waterfalls. It was still close to the ocean, but like felt a little cooler than some of the more tropical areas that we visited. Obviously it's all Costa Rica, but just I'm saying in comparison. So here's like the site map. So they have Healer Pool. Oh, that's like the river. So I'm going to show you the farm. That's really what we got to see was the farm area. So when we went to the main entrance, this is where like the rental things were, but we didn't get to really see that because they had an event going on. So he was kind of showing us the site maps. And I think this one's been around since 2020 because I think he said when the pandemic happened, he was already in Costa Rica. So he's kind of taking us on a tour. We got to see their food production. This guy was awesome. I don't recall his name, but he was really cool. They have a lot of stuff going on in terms of food production. I was really impressed. They had a greenhouse. They have chickens. They have trees that they plant, like really, really sophisticated setup. So I was inspired by that. Made me want to get a greenhouse here, actually. And it was just really beautiful visiting, like the way they built everything out, the trails. It was lovely. He really wanted to plant some yams. That was his vision. He wanted those yams to be planted. And he said he finally came full circle. So, of course, I had to get a picture of Ian Michael with the yams. Represent. It's all about bringing those dreams to life. So this is Holos, y'all. And from my understanding, they're selling lots. They still have some lots. I think they've actually sold a lot of their lots, so they're doing good. Anyway, I think that they have like a retreat center and that there's an emphasis on like plant medicine. But again, we didn't really get to see that side, so that's just from what I was told verbally. Okay, and then I'm just going to fast forward because it's already 5:18. It's already been almost an hour. Thanks for sticking with me, y'all. But it was a really cool trip. I'm really glad I went. I learned a lot. It was an awesome experience. I mean, to see all the different communities and how they're set up, it was very inspiring. In the last place that we visited, this was their... They had really beautiful waterfall area. So pretty. I would definitely encourage you guys to visit Costa Rica if you haven't. It's just gorgeous. Yeah, and that's Holos. Now, last place we visited officially on the tour was the home farm, which I have my horrible photo here. Heaven on Mother Earth. Tried to get a picture as we were pulling in and I just didn't quite make it. But here's like a board, and that was like a common thing too. A lot of them had boards where they would have, you know, some of the vision and information about what they were doing that week and that kind of stuff. So here's kind of how they see it, like an irrevocable trust. There's like 7 people who are the main stewards. It all really, to me, sounded a lot like freedom cells. But yeah, so this is kind of like a self-governance model with the daily decision-making, food production, and what's going to be getting built. And the larger community, branching out to other communities too, I noticed was a theme with a lot of these eco-villages, connecting with other communities doing something similar. And here's some of the needs that they have. So they put that on the board. They need building experts, volunteers, media production, movement teachers. But anyway, this is home farm, and wow, it was so cool, guys. Like lots of cabins. They had lots of infrastructure, beautiful bathrooms set up. This is one of the homes, which is really pretty. And here's the best thing about this place, in my opinion, is the waterfall. It was so pretty, the river. So let me show you. Look at that. Holy moly. Can you imagine that just being like your backyard? Like, oh, I think I'll go to the waterfall today. And it's like just heaven, like right in front of you. So cool. But anyway, so this is like literally there. You're just walking out and boom, there it is. And there's like a swimming hole. But I want to make sure. Oh, there I am doing my yoga stuff. But anyway, okay, guys, we're like coming on to an hour here, so I don't want to be taking too long. Oh, yeah, check out this tree. Look at how big this tree is. Isn't that crazy? Like, maybe the picture doesn't really do it justice. Like, this tree is just absolutely huge. And then there, we like stopped by the fire and we did music at night, and it was really fun. We ate a nice vegan meal. It was yummy. It was dal and curry. And then we had a presentation. 3 of the community members came up and kind of spoke with us, some star fruit. So, okay, guys, that is all I'm going to share on Home Farm in Holos. I did also have a surprise community visit, which was awesome, at Earthwaking. But I think because it's already been almost an hour, I'll just kind of recap my experience at Earthwaking. Was awesome. So it happened to be super close to Holos and the home farm. And when I found out, I was like feeling called by God, like I just have to go. And funny enough, Jonathan England was doing a webinar with Live Free Academy, our company, that day. So I was like, it's just a sign from above. Like I have to go see it. So I did, and I'm really glad that I did. And I actually uploaded a video if you want to check it out. It's like an hour long, touring around home farm, and really cool experience. The people there were awesome. They were so welcoming. The food was so yummy. So that was really sweet of them to extend. I went there with Steven and Lucette, who were also on the tour because they were interested in the community. So like literally last minute, they welcomed us in and gave us a place to stay for the night and fed us. And we had a great experience. But all that to say, if you want to check out Earthwaking, I do have my full video tour on my YouTube channel. And it was honestly like just heavenly. And I think one of my takeaways from that community, because they have it set up as a ministry and to protect the land and all the community members, as long as you have a good attorney and someone who can structure it properly, I think ultimately how you set it up legally, from what I've seen from these communities, it's about what works the best for the piece of land and for the people living on it, and how your intention is to reside on the land and steward the land. So I don't know that there is a right or wrong way per se. I mean, I know what I'm going to pursue here in Central Texas, which is a condominium association, and maybe holding the private membership association for visitors or folks staying in the short-term rentals. I don't really have all the answers myself, but I do know that the most important thing is a dedication to growing your own food, a dedication to having the land be the first partner, a dedication to autonomy and protecting privacy and one another's own space, yet a dedication to having the communal land where people can come together, break bread, sing songs around the fire at night, do some stargazing, and connect with one another deeply. And that's really what I kind of have as my main takeaway from this Ecovillage tour. It was an awesome experience, and visiting the communities was great. I learned a lot, but even connecting with other attendees was magical. I mean, we kind of became our own little intentional community tribe as we toured around Costa Rica for almost 2 weeks. It was a great experience. If you are interested in going on a Costa Rica Ecovillage tour, or if you just want to go see ecovillages in other locations, there's actually some tours coming up later this year. And so if you go to my link tree, you'll see the link for the website, and you can actually register for the upcoming tours this year. Cynthia is planning to do Costa Rica again. From what I've seen, there's going to be one as well in Vermont, and then Slovenia, which is in Europe. So that, yes, there's a lot happening, lots of communities to visit. I would say go for it if your heart's calling you to go see these properties. Check them out. There's literally nothing you can lose, but so much that you can gain. And I hope that these photos and these videos help to shine some light on what I experienced going to these different communities. And I'm excited, honestly, to just get more going here at Radical Roots Ranch. So we have our wicking beds, we have well, you can't really see here, but over here is like our chicken coop area. We have projects going here in Texas, but it's not really all happening so fast, I think that's something that I'm coming to terms with, is that these projects take time. And, we've been on our property now for 2.5 years. And in that time, we've built out 3 road-based pads for our RVs, friends who have RVs living with us, our little Freedom Cell tribe. We have here almost 7 community members. Actually 6 right now, but we'll be growing. I'm actually in the process of selling my glamper, which was my first thing that I owned, that I lived in my little tiny home. So it's kind of closure for me, sad, but also exciting at the same time. We're going to open that space up for a new community member to join to help us steward the land. But, we have 43 mature pecan trees. We have bees. We have a garden that's failing right now, but will be thriving in the spring. And whether you own land or you're looking to live on land and get out of the city, these projects, I think, are more important than ever. There's really nothing more satisfying than growing your own food and being able to walk outside and grab the eggs from your chicken coop, and just being able to go for a walk at the end of the day, watch the sunset over the property. All these little moments, they mean a lot and help with, I think, mental health. And also what helps with mental health is having people that you can rely on and trust. And I think that is one of perhaps the most important thing, is finding your tribe and finding your people and working together on these common goals. So love what they're doing on these communities in Costa Rica. I hope you guys did too. Thank you for joining for Live Free with Rebecca Bush podcast, episode 12. Woohoo. Thanks, y'all. All right, I need to go take a breather here. It's been a long week settling back in after this trip, and I was gone for the greater reset. But before I sign off, I just want to let you guys know that next week I am so excited to be joined by Angel Miller with R&R Glamping. So look out for that podcast on Wednesday. I guess that would be the 20th of February. And then after that, yay, the next week, which is going to be Wednesday, February 27th. I think. Yes. Yeah, those dates sound about right. But just check my Instagram, check my YouTube. You'll see the links, or my Telegram. They're all Live Free with Rebecca Bush. But Molly Englehart's going to be joining. So excited to have her on the show. She's actually also a speaker at the Exit and Build Land Summit this year. She founded Sovereignty Ranch and is in a lot of great documentaries. So she's going to be sharing about all her awesome work. They have amazing food production. She's a chef. The restaurant on property is just fantastic. I went there for Confluence during the eclipse that happened in October. And actually they're doing that event again in April. So lots of good stuff happening, guys. If you want to be on my show, let me know. I am highlighting women who are doing great work in the world. So where my ladies at? I need you. Come on, share your awesome wisdom. And thank you for watching today, even though it was just little old me. But I hope that you enjoyed watching and seeing all the videos and pictures. So, whew, all right, y'all. Peace out. Have a good night.